It is about 8:18. I just took down my camp, broke down my tent, got everything packed in the car, got my drone charging. This is where I went last night for a second. One of the Gemini lakes. Beautiful. Look at this. Man, these are all amazing campsites. Who wouldn't want to camp here? Perfect spot for a tent right here. You got a little fence, fire pit, table, and trees kind of forming a little protective perimeter. Whiskey dicks. Come on, man. Come on. That can't, I gotta go take a picture of that. That can't be real. Oh, also, that's a cool mural there. Bro, how are you gonna open a business called Whiskey Dicks? That's a meme, dude. That's way too much of a meme. This is nice. I was figuring out more about my plan for today. I now kind of understand the coastline of all the pictured rock stuff and where all the main attractions are. So now I know what I'm doing today. Got it all figured out thanks to the lady in the visitor center. I don't know why I didn't just go there yesterday, but I just came up here because I saw this little turnout, scenic view. There's Grand Island. Sounds like next time I come with somebody, absolutely got to do the day tour to Grand Island, which actually, I'm stupid. That's Grand Island. That's just more of the pictured rocks. So I'm going over there today, which is that thing that I could see when I went to the beaches that I overshot it. That's where the Grand Arch or whatever it's called, all the stuff, the Indian's head, Indian's drum, all the main things. They're all the way down there at the edge of the shoreline that you can see over there and along that way. So I yesterday, in the first part of the day, I only went to, I think, that area right there. I think like Sand Point. It's not even that far. Sand Point's like just over there somewhere maybe. And then that, unless that's Sand Point, that might be Sand Point. And then I went further. I don't know, it's actually hard to tell from here. But anyway, gotta go to Grand Island next time. And yeah, I'm not gonna spend too much time here. This is a nice view, but just want to come check it out. And now, time to keep moving. It's just about 10:15, so I gotta get all the way down there to see the really cool stuff. But I'm fully prepared today, I think. All right, so I purposely overshot where my main objective is today because there's first one small little side quest that I'm going to go on here. Go ahead and hit that 2x zoom. And you'll be able to see it momentarily. This is right around the turnoff for Little Beaver. There it is. Little Beaver Campground turnoff is coming up to the right here. But, oh, maybe I should like you gotta hit that 5x zoom. There it is. We gotta figure out how to get to that guy. Oh boy, here we go. This is probably a mistake. With my car, this is like the same type of shit as earlier yesterday. Ooh, I don't know about this one, fam. Ooh, I hear it doing shit under my car. It's just that stupid hanger hook, so it's not like a huge deal, but okay, if it levels out like it is right now, I'll be okay. But it's not gonna do that, of course, it's gonna get worse. Okay, is that a turnaround area up there? All right, if I can turn around up there, that's perfect, and I'll go on foot. Oh, yep, look at this, a gate, cool, perfect. They said no more cars anyway. Okay, so this isn't gonna be a problem if I park here. This is definitely how to get to this fire tower. I just feel it. So I'm gonna stop filming and go find it. Yeah, that's it. I see the antenna or something sticking through the trees. Well, that was easy. This was just slightly more challenging to get to than the one in Indiana. Well, yeah, I kind of half suspected that. That's a shame. Well, at least this wasn't a super far or difficult hike. They got a solar panel on that, they're powering like an antenna or something. Maybe they just turned this thing into a, what is this, basically been modified into a phone tower now? Climbing up there not only would be dangerous without a harness hook system, but up there, I have a feeling, by the looks of it, those wooden boards look kind of rotted anyway. I don't think anybody's gone up there in a while, except for whoever would maintenance that. Warning, U.S. government property. No trespassing. Yeah, no worries. Also, it's missing the electrical panel thing for that, so, or it's just exposed because somebody with it. I don't know, it broke off. It looks like maybe there's breakers with stuff attached still in there. And I hear it hum from that over there. Generator box or whatever the hell that is. Transformer, I'm not really sure what those ground box things are, but anyway, I guess got footage of it from right up next to it, but climbing up there would be a suicide mission. Definitely not worth it. But, alright, well, that's that. Now it's time to go to Picture Rocks. Okay, so here we go. I'm on the road that's going to take me right out to where most of the Pictured Rock stuff is that I'm going to be seeing today. I saw the Fire Watch Tower. Couldn't go up in it. That was pointless. Side quest complete.
When I went to college at her,
Whole loop's 10 miles. Here we go. It's funny because you have to actually have a national park pass or a Pictured Rocks camping or Pictured Rocks park pass. I was able to use my state park pass to camp last night with my vehicle parked there because I have a vehicle recreation passport for the state parks, which includes state forest campground, which is super clutch. And I realized that, so I was like, cool, saved me $19. But that does not work for national parks, which this is. The whole Lakeshore, very, very muddy here. The whole Lakeshore is all national parks, or a national park. Therefore, you have to have a special pass. Finally, I'm at the point. This that I'm doing today is the stuff that I was thinking I was doing yesterday. There was this really crazy puffball mushroom. I swear to God, bigger than my head, bigger than a basketball. I saw a giant white orb through the woods and I was like, that's too white to be a rock. That has to be a mushroom. And sure enough, it was. And yeah, I went over to it, tapped it with my foot. It was in the ground pretty solid. I was like, damn, I wish I could take a picture of this. But my phone was dead. And right next to it was like a decomposing one. Speaking of mushrooms, that's cool. There's a decomposing one that was like all brown, and I kicked it and it just exploded into a cloud, like twice the size of it, in spores. I just ran. I did not want that shit on my clothes. I think I found Mosquito Falls. Finally. That felt like a lot more than a mile because of all that up and down. Crazy. All these careful steps because of the roots. Look great, but make it really hard to walk. Again, sorry for the shaky cam at times. It just kind of comes with the, oh yeah, finally. Mosquito Falls. Look at that. Almost worthy of flying the drone here, but I think there's better falls I can see today. But that's nice. I don't want to get too close here because my phone and or myself would be cooked. But go on. That's super cool. Today, we see the good stuff. We're above the falls technically now. This is what I'm talking about. Is it worth going into there? Yeah, I think so. Nice. This is pretty cool. I'm not gonna waste too long here because you know what? This is what I'm on right now. I don't think those sticks just fell there like that. I think this is a beaver dam. Beavers are so funny, dude. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, this is the falls. The lower falls are way more lame. It's too bad I don't have like knee-high waterproof boots. Look at the water reflecting on the stone there. Can you see that? Yeah. That is beautiful. Ah, so when they said Mosquito Falls, it's actually plural this time. There's multiple falls. There's a lower one over there. Here's another one, and I see an even bigger one up ahead. And this must be the top. Oh, yeah, here we go. This must be the top of Mosquito Falls, unless it goes further up. I think it's about another 2 to 3 miles. Probably about 2.5 miles until I'm at Lake Superior again. And what the f, dude? Never have I seen something like this on a national park trail, dude. It's a ladder built out of wood. This is kind of cool. Like, look at the way the sun's coming through the trees, the ferns. I love how the light looks when it hits all the ferns on the forest floor with just the trees sticking up out of it. Like, man, that's a forest you only really see in northern Michigan. Look at this. Man. Now, that right there would be a cool place to camp. Like, imagine if you, like, in the spring or summer, came in there with your tent, a little bit of wood, you were careful to make sure there was no like leaves or brush near the edge of that so nothing would catch on fire, and just had a little fire at the mouth of that. Shit. Look at this. And let me go 0.5 again. Maybe I should just do 0.5 out here. Like, come on. Hell yeah. It's beautiful. So that right over there is the Grand Island. You can see it starts over here and then it goes all the way over there, and then kind of right over there, I can actually just zoom in. You can see, I think like right there, it's hard for me to look at my screen when I'm zoomed in, but kind of like right there is the cove that goes in on the island. There's some beaches to the right, and then that's all the island all the way down there to where it disappears behind the edge of the pictured rocks. So unfortunately, it looks like that cool spot down there. Now that one right there, I think, is one of the pretty significant ones. I think like around the side of that, you can see some cool rust stains. So I can fly my drone over and see that. And I think down there is something. Maybe it's some of the cool stripe patterns. But we're gonna check the map now. All right, so I just hiked a quarter of the way. I'm 2.5 miles in here at Mosquito Beach, and I've got to go further to the archway thing or whatever it's called. I always forget. It's actually got a cool name, Grand Arch or something, Arch Point. I don't know. I'm literally stupid. I've looked at it like 5 times, can't remember it. So I'm like a quarter of the way, and once I get to the halfway point, shit gets really cool. And then after the halfway point, the like halfway to 3/4 of the way point, it's pretty cool, and that's where we get to, I think it's Chapel Falls, and then from Chapel Falls back to my car, it's, you know, just a trail, kind of like the first quarter was. So it's the second, third quarter, whichever direction you choose to go, that are the good stuff. Hell yeah, dude. That would be cool. Probably gotta have a bit of money to be on that, but that would be cool. All right, so I'm gonna fly my drone over there because that right there is the caves of the Bloody Chiefs. I'm pretty sure, unless it's around the corner, but I'm pretty sure it's that. Around the corner and just a little bit further is Lover's Leap, which I'm not gonna try to get that with my drone. I think it'll lose signal if I go around the corner with it, for sure. But I can go get a good drone shot of caves of the Bloody Chiefs, which look really cool. They're like these little indentations, kind of little cave indentations. That way is painted coves, which the pictures look nice, don't get me wrong, but I think there's way cooler stuff that way. So I'm gonna keep going that way. And then the painted coves, you know, next time I will see that from the kayak when I come here for the season 7 or some shit when I'm touring North America and I come back to Michigan. Who knows? It might be like 2040. Normally when I have drone footage in my videos, what I'll do is I will take the good bits from the drone footage, I'll chop it up, and I'll find some nice serene or epic music, and I will sync that up with the chopped up sections of the drone footage that are nice to show, rather than dragging people through 3 to 7 to 10 minutes of all of the drone footage with all of the, pans of the camera and glitchy moments in the air. So I'm going to do something different for this video. I'm going to do my best to explain the geology that forms these beautiful shores here. And I'm probably going to butcher it because I'm no geologist, but that's what we're going to do instead. Also, if you decide to come here, I would not recommend swimming out over that rock ledge. I imagine it's quite easy to drown if you're not a strong swimmer. I certainly wasn't going to do it myself. You could see you could probably slip off there and have a hard time climbing and swimming back up. So it's not advisable. As for the geology, here is my best explanation of how this place formed. So roughly 1 billion years ago, and then a bit more recently since then, there was this rock formation that was building up. Over time, from forces like continental plates and Lake Superior and erosion, the cliffs also had another formation of sandstone that had built up on top over more recent hundreds of millions of years. And then the base formation is showing from underneath the top sandstone formation somewhat. And essentially, the ground minerals that come through are what create these colors. So you've got iron, you've got a little bit of copper occasionally. I think there's something like manganese or some other mineral that's for the colors, or limonite or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but that essentially leaches through the porous sandstone with the water, and then it leaves those mineral stains. And yeah, that's the best that I can explain this place, but it sure is beautiful. And that is Lover's Leap over there. A very cool formation, basically an archway. I'm sure it won't be there forever. But yeah, I will go over there later. And what do we have here? We got a boat. So this was funny. When I was flying, I saw this boat coming, and I decided, let's go mess with this guy. So, I got some nice little aerial shots here, and now we're gonna go swoop in and mess with these tourists. But yeah, that's Lover's Leap in the background. It sure is cool. I kind of wish I would have taken a kayak self-guided tour, but I'll have to do that next time for sure. So what do we got here? Pictured Rocks Cruises. I'm sure those people got a kick out of that. I'm sure they see drones all the time these days, but yeah, you can see all those colors dripping down the cliffs in the background on the rocks. That's coming through the sandstone. That's the top layer. That's what all the ground and the trees are on top of. And underneath that, there's this big rock formation underneath. That's super, super old. That's from before there was life, I think, like animals and life on the earth. From the, what was it? I don't know, the Precambrian period or something crazy? I forget exactly. I should have studied it a little bit more, but again, I'm no geologist. I can tell you, though, this place is very beautiful. The color of the water and the colors coming out of the sandstone sure are cool. And yeah, along this whole lakeshore, you've got some beaches you can go on, like this place right here. And you've got a trail that runs the whole, I believe it's like roughly 15 miles of lakeshore. You can, of course, take boat tours and see all of this from there. You can hike it from the trail. You could get in a small little kayak, I imagine. That's what I'm going to try to do if I return when I'm a bit older. But yeah, I just can't get over the color of the water, and I decided to just kind of hover above this area. I mean, look at that sandstone shelf. Again, wouldn't recommend walking down and trying to swim on that as if it was like sand that you could actually go wade out to a sandbar, unless you're a very, very strong swimmer. Seems like a terrible idea, but look at that. Look at all those pieces that have broken off and are now buried under this aqua-colored water. Some of the areas the water is straight up green. Like even in the Caribbean, it's usually not that green. Well, no, I'm sure it is in spots, but I always I forget how incredible my state really looks. I really had to show it off. I'm happy that I made it here and really got to gain a new appreciation for it, because just, I mean, come on. Look at how it's like one big piece of sandstone. and then a little chunk cracked off. Now I can actually get a nice view, pretty decently close to the Caves of the Bloody War Chiefs. If I had more time, well, swimming down to that would be pretty dangerous actually. You've got this like little shelf here, which, by the way, look how cool that sandstone shelf is. That's like all a rock. That entire thing is one rock. That's not actually sand anymore. And you can see very distinctly where the edge of the shelf is. And then like a few meters down, there's just this like dark blue abyss that goes back up under the rock a little bit. Terrifying. So swimming over there, it's not a good idea. Get caught by riptide. Remember, this is a lake, but that's because it has fresh water. It's basically a sea. You can get pretty. This is Lake Superior too. Lake Superior is the one with the nasty storms. Lake Michigan and Huron can do it too. Even the little ones, Erie and Ontario, can have some storms, but Superior, you don't want to f around in this lake even on a, I mean, it's a clear blue day. There's literally no storm, but riptide takes you out a little bit, and then there's nothing beneath you but blue abyss. Yeah, you're cooked. Does not sound like a fun way to go. But yeah, that right over there is the caves. Actually, I'm gonna get a decent view from this. Nah, I don't feel like it. Yeah, right through there, Caves of the Indian War Chiefs. Or no, Caves of the Bloody War Chiefs. I said it and I was like, that wasn't quite right. Caves of the Bloody War Chiefs. Yeah, I would say I saved all the best stuff for the last day. This is crazy. Oh man. Oh, you don't want to fall off there. You are dead. Look at the boulders. Oh man. That is cool. So this thing used to be, I think where that piece is right there, there used to be more. So that's a lot of these boulders were chunks that collapsed off. There used to be multiple arches that went down. Wow, look at that. There's the painted rocks, man. Wow. That's so cool. Here's his boat again, and look at that. Slightly blocked a little by this tree. But that is Rainbow Cave. Hell yeah. So I can actually enjoy quite a lot of the pictured rocks from this 10-mile loop. Everything I was doing yesterday, I was looking for stuff like this. I thought I was gonna come out on some beaches right next to stuff like that, and it was such a disappointment. Rainbow Cave. That's so beautiful. Oof. Slightly dangerous. But not too bad. Just gotta be careful going down to that tree. It looks like it's like, oh my God, you're right on the cliff, but there's actually some stuff past that and a bunch of things you could grab onto. Whew. Man. All right, let's follow the drone, keep moving. This is crazy. This tree like grew out of the ground here. Actually, it probably was more up on the thing and it's slowly slumped off, but that thing's got not too many years left before it goes into the water. And that's so sick. That's, I don't know what that archway is, but I'm standing right over, like right down here, or just around the corner of this is Rainbow Cave that I was just showing with the drone footage. And now, it's time to keep going. I had my snack break and drone break. The grand portal used to be way crazier. The roof of it collapsed. I think I mentioned that previously in an earlier point in some of my video. And now there's only like a third of it left of what there used to be, or half of it or so. So that's what's after Indian Head, or Indian's Head. That's what I'm coming up on here. And I believe I just got that in the drone footage as well. So, and the drone footage was actually Rainbow Cave and Indian Head. So from here, you can actually get a pretty great view of the Indian Head. There it is. That's Indian Head, I think. Almost positive. No, it's Indian Head. Doesn't really look like an Indian head or a Native American's head. Just looks like a piece of sandstone cliff. Kind of like, oh, nice. Those people passed me while I was standing there talking to myself. Anyway, more I explore this area, like many places, the more I realized I need so much more time to explore. It's impossible to see the entire world in a lifetime. You would need at least 10 lifetimes, probably more like 100 lifetimes to really thoroughly see everything. I love when you're just walking down the trails and then all of a sudden you can see something super cool, just boom, right there. That one arch back that way that I forgot what it was actually called. Not the Grand Portal, some other portal. Oh yeah, this is a way better view. You could only kind of just see the end of this from back there. Oh yeah. Okay. Nice. Very, very nice. So just ahead is Indian Head. And then after that is Grand Portal Point, which is the super cool archway. And then after that is Battleship Row, and then after that. So then it's Broken Flower Vase, then Indian Drums, then I think Pictured Rocks Pirate, and then the whatever Cove. Oh. Okay. From this angle, I can kind of see it. Yeah. Especially if I went down right there, probably a little more. This is a great vantage point, but yeah, you can totally see the face. I'll buy it. I'll buy it. This is like a whole beachfront suspended in the air. Hey, look at that. Now there's some of the pictured rocks. And this is, look at the way the chunks are. That had to have been a pretty significant bit of the cliff at one point that, well, or just one piece after another slowly falls in and becomes the smaller stones as it breaks apart over probably millions of years. That shit's insane. I wonder what this looked like a million years ago. So that right there is Indian Head. You can't see it, but it's around there. Hold on to my phone tight. Yeah, wow, you can actually see where sections of the cliff have just chunked off and fallen in. That whole thing's been getting just eroded. That must be where like a lot of water just hits and bashes it and pieces fall. I don't know what this is down here. I think this is just, or no, wait a minute. This might be, what is this? I don't know. Am I stupid? No, this isn't Rainbow Cave. Rainbow Cave was back that way where I was. This is just something that's unmarked that looks really cool. And that's Indian Head right around the corner there. Anyway, it's getting windy. See this? This right here? It's partially because I'm up on the cliff side, but also because that's Lake Superior for you. Oh my God. I have sunglasses on. It's blowing sand into my mouth and eyes. Shouldn't talk, but look at that down there. I don't dare get too close to the edge with this wind, because it could change directions, come from there and just blow me and off there. But oh my God, look at how you can see just like a ton of this just boom. And I wonder how long ago that happened. Theoretically, the piece I'm standing on right now, that same thing could happen too. Like this entire section here could just go down. Hell of a way to die. But wow, that is so crazy. Again, it just keeps getting cooler and cooler. I saved the best stuff for the last day. Absolutely. I would say this is more exciting than being in a boat tour that goes down and shows the stuff from the water level. Also, I got to fly my drone, like pretty close to the stuff, closer than you can get by boat. So, oh man, we'll just hope this whole rock cliff stays connected and hold my phone so tight. But obviously, I'm going out here. Yeah. All right. Oh, this isn't actually that dangerous because I survived falling down to that section really. There, I don't know. Of course, the wind's blowing right at me, so wow. I'm gonna stay on this little lower section, so I've got this. Yeah. You don't want to get blown off there. That'd be the end. This whole section right here, this little chunk looks like it's gonna eventually break off. Yeah. All right, so it's pretty windy. I'm gonna get a. Can't quite see the whole thing from here, but that's the grand portal right over there. Now, I believe this is a scenario that calls for a drone flight. The drone right through the grand portal, come on. It's gotta be done. But the question is should I hike further on the trail? Is this the best point to launch the drone from? Probably. This probably is. Oh, I don't know, how do I decide? Should I launch the drone from here? Or should I go to the other side? There might be a better view from over there and then I can launch the drone. I don't know. Wow. Oh. That's the picture rocks, man. Oh. So I think right underneath me is the archway. I'm on the tip of the end of the archway. So underneath me, there's a giant cavity in water. It's super crazy. A boat tour, man. I would have been wasting my time and money. This is so much better. The aerial views, and then you can get actually this close, and you might not be able to go through the portal, but I can fly my drone through the portal, and I think I made the right choice coming to here, because I can launch my drone from here, fly it out kind of that way, get like a shot pulling away from it, and then like arcing to the side, and then you'll see the portal, and then I can come and fly right through it. Oh, yeah. Dynamic action shots, man. This is so beautiful though. And look, it actually goes down for, okay, so I see way down there are the beaches that I was at yesterday. I can actually see, if I zoom in, it's over there, the flat beach is where I was. And I like went, I think maybe to like some stuff over in there. That might've been that little area where I was yesterday, kind of over in there. And then I might've gone to one of those coves there. I think that first one there is where I like initially kind of swam to. And I was too scared to go further to that one, I'm pretty sure is what it was. And then that's all really mid garbage, and it would have been impossible to even get to that, which is like pretty decent. But even that, which is pretty decent, which was impossible to get to yesterday, is still nothing compared to this. Like, dude, come on. It's so beautiful. All right, pictures and then drone flight, and then I gotta keep going along this for a bit. The trail follows along this way and goes, I think, somewhere over there before. That's the Chapel Cove. So the Chapel Rock or whatever it's called is in there. I think that's Chapel Cove. And there's like a Battleship. There's a Battleship Beach is over there, maybe, I think, or maybe that's around that corner. I don't know, but I got to get over there. And it's already 4, basically. So pictures, drone flight, keep hiking. I got to get back to my car by dark, or before, ideally. So again, this time I will not be putting any music over the drone footage. This time for a very different reason than before. So you're about to witness me very nearly lose my drone. This one was close. This one was as close as it gets. I mean, I put myself in a really bad scenario here with my drone. I almost lost it with all the footage that you just watched. So basically what I did, as you can see, I flew way out here. My goal, it's just absolutely incredible. Look at it. Wow. But my goal was to set it up for the one of the first shots I was going to set up for a cool little montage was going to be an awesome just flying backwards and flying up and just getting a nice pan away, not pan, but you know, zoom out shot of this. I was going to fly down into this little cave here, and you were going to get to see all of that just as it backed away from it. Just going to pull away, and just a really cool shot. Would have been epic. But what I did is I forgot how drones work, and that you can't really put tons of rock or concrete in between you and the drone, the receiver and the drone. So right now I still have some control over it, and I decided at this point, okay, I have control, I'm going to fly in here further. And this was where I made a critical error. I should have flown it out at that point. So this is 10 times speed right now. As you can see, it's weird looking. And I was somehow able to recover the drone there. So that was 10 times speed, that little moment where it went all glitchy. It was actually in there for a moment. And then I was like, whew, barely got it out of that one. And now I did the shot, kind of, that I was going for. Not quite. But I got lucky. The way that I was able to recover it was I climbed down as far as I could on that cliff there to the lower right before it turns into a slope and drops off. I got down as far as I could and just hoped that the signal would somehow pick up, and it did. I got really lucky. I think it might have actually gone into return to home mode, possibly, and then backed itself out of there. I don't remember. That might have been what happened. But either way, I got lucky. I got my drone out, and there we have the Grand Portal Point. So this used to be bigger, and that ceiling used to, I believe the water went all the way through before that ceiling collapsed into there like that, which is a shame. Because imagine if you could, it would be really dangerous too, but imagine if you could take a boat through there. I wasn't about to attempt flying the drone through there after what just happened. Now if I ever go back there and I'm on a boat tour or a kayak self-guided tour, then I'd be down at water level and I could easily get those shots. So that's the one downside to being up there on the cliff. And yeah, see, now this is a shot you can't quite, both of those shots, the one that I almost lost my drone to and this one, you can't quite get that experience from the boat tour. You can't quite get those vantage points unless you have a drone. So if you are watching this video, you're getting as good of a view of these cliffs as human eyes can see without somehow being able to actually fly in a little device. Thank God. It tried to return home and it couldn't because it recognized that there was things above it. The drone's pretty smart. It knew not to go up and do return to home, even though it was trying to, because it was like, obstacle overhead, can't do that. And oh man, I've had times where its return home has caused it to almost crash into something. I'm sure it can crash into something if it does something too quickly, and it would have hit that rock and plummeted right into the water, taking the SD card and all the videos with it. So that was close. I almost lost my drone. Hey, look at this. Hell yeah, man. It's so beautiful. So I believe this right here, if I'm not mistaken, is Battleship Row. I could be mistaken. That is so cool. There's like a net of roots. That's so sick. So yeah, from the look of it, I think that's Battleship Row. Now, when I was wondering how much of Painted Rocks I'd be able to see from the trail, I was worrying for no reason. just around the corner of that is where I almost lost my drone forever. That's the Grand Portal point. And I think a little bit further this way I'll be able to see the Grand Portal. But yeah, damn, close call with the drone, man. That was crazy. The Grand Portal reveal, dude. Check this out. I'm telling you, this trail is just scenic reveals at every corner. That's what I'm talking about. The Grand Portal. Would have loved to see it 100 years ago, what it looked like then, but as you can see, a lot of the ceiling collapsed, and I think there used to be like a whole other side section to it as well. Oh, anyway, imagine just tripping on a root right there, and then it's over, dude. All right, not worried about my battery anymore because I got it plugged in. Problem is, unless I come upon another campsite, I'm almost out of water. That's beautiful. But I think I'm about at the halfway point, roughly. Let's see what this is. I gotta look at the map to see which one this is. I don't know the name of the one that I'm currently showing. But I'm kind of close to the cliff. It's crazy how this trail in some spots is just like, yeah, hey, don't trip right here or you literally die. Like, this is a main trail. And if you tripped on that route, right, you're an old person, you're some old dude, and you're like, oh, you trip. Dude, you would die. You'd be nobody could save you in time. All right, well, I was right about the previous thing being Battleship Row, because this right here is Broken Flower Vase. You can't really totally see the whole thing. It's meant to be seen more from the water, obviously. Not meant to be seen more from the water, but the picture's sake at least, or what it looks like. I don't see how it's a broken flower vase, but you can see in pictures of Broken Flower Vase very clearly that curved, warped tree above it. So that's how, and that little notch, I think is the flower vase that's broken right there, I guess. That's how you can tell, I guess. But yeah, that's Broken Flower Vase. And then the Indian drums and something with, first of all, whatever that is over there is actually super cool looking. I wonder if that's got a name. It probably does. Maybe that's Indian drums. Or there's also the something Cove pirate. I don't know, forget what the pirate one's called. Pictured Rocks Pirate, I think. Yeah, I think it's just called the Pictured Rocks Pirate. Anyway, let's keep going, but I want to know, whatever that over there is, that looks sick. That might be the Indian drums. I'm gonna consult the pictures again. But yeah, this right here, gotta get a picture of it. Can't do much of a video, but those are the Indian drums there, I'm almost positive. And I'm not gonna give a salute to these people this time. The pilot probably remembers. My phone's at 2%. This might kill my battery, but I think this is the Cove. The boat is in there. It's a big ass boat in this cove. I wanna record it. My phone's gonna die, and my battery pack is dead. I up. I'm not gonna be able to record the entirety of the whole walk. I'm not gonna get the falls. What's up? Yo, let's go, dude. I don't know what this little cove is called, but that's cool. Pictured Rocks Cruises, baby. Might kill my battery recording that. All right, well, this video is surely gonna kill my phone, so this will probably be the last of me talking for this trip. Just gonna be a little bit of drone footage I'm gonna be able to do from here of Chapel Lake and Chapel Falls, but this is sick. It is such a cool rock formation. And that tree, I don't know how the hell that tree just stayed on top of there, man. That's just, maybe there is a God. How this tree is able to stay on top of Chapel Rock like that is this root right here. That root, that little system of a few roots, that transfers, I believe, all of its nutrients back to the tree, unless there are somehow some roots that go through the rock there itself, which I don't know if that's possible. I think that rock formation is much, 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 much older than the tree. I don't think its roots got through one of these little connection points. So that means that the roots that I was just showing, that's how all the trees, nutrients, and water gets transferred to it and keeping it alive. They banned people, actually. There's a sign right there saying it. You're not allowed to go on the roots, climb on them, and get over to there. People used to do that, of course. And then they realized, oh man, if these roots break, or if we damage them too much, the tree will die, and there's no way anybody's getting another tree to be up there of that size connected like that ever again. And yeah, so now I'm just hiking through the forest here, kind of messing around with my drone, because what happened was my phone died, because I'm an idiot. I didn't charge my battery pack somewhere, so I couldn't charge my phone when I thought I could, and that was the end of my phone. So this is the little extension now of my last little bit of my video. So what I decided to do to have a last little bit of footage at the end of the video was I just decided to fly my drone directly in front of me while I walked, and that created some slightly nice footage. The pacing is a bit inconsistent because it's hard to fly the drone while you're walking with it directly in front of you. You can get really fancy drones that you can, like, I believe, sync to do that automatically. Like, they'll lock onto a certain spot and then just move. It's really cool for doing like motion shots with cars. Cinematic drones, you know. Mine's not a $3,000 drone though. Anyway, these woods were beautiful, and now I am heading right towards Chapel Falls, which will be the last clip for this video. So right before I show the Chapel Falls footage in the end of the video, this is the path that I took at Pictured Rocks. Went up north this way, came across here, up to Munising. So there's the Grand Island. I'll have to go there one day. First day, I started out there, and then I drove. What you do is you take these roads out this way, this road. See right here, the location I've been for, that's where I camped. Way out this way, and off of this road, going through Van Meer, Williams Crossing, Melstrand, and this Adams Trail Road. That is the way that you access all of these ways that go up to these things. Little smaller service roads. So you can start here, these overlooks, Miner's Castle, that's where I went. And then you can hike down this beach, which I did. That's that lame little Elliott Falls. There was another one called Bridal Veil Falls. I'm sure it was a lot cooler, but I never went there. And then you can hike all the way and come out at Mosquito Beach, and I didn't do that. But then the loop that I did was starting, I believe, at this parking lot. Here's the trailhead. So you come from Adams Trail, you come this way, down these roads, you get to here, and I took this trail. It's like a just over 10 mile loop. So I came out here, and then you've seen me go in the second day of my trip all the way down here. First there's Lover's Leap, then there's Rainbow Cave, and then you go further, Indian Head Rock. I don't believe it shows anymore if you zoom in any further. God's Rest Beach, I didn't actually go there or really show it in the video. Battleship Rock I showed. Oh yeah, Grand Portal Point. I don't know why it doesn't actually show that as a location with like the other ones, but this is Grand Portal Point, right under here. And this whole thing, they have it marked as that on the map, but it's actually more under this little thing right here. That's where I was flying the drone from. Anyway, Chapel Cove. There's this little Chapel Lake that drains out to here, to this Chapel Beach, which I didn't really show because my phone was about to die. And yeah, I need to get better at doing that. And Chapel Rock, of course, where the tree is. And then I took this trail. It's like a 2-3 mile stretch of trail that brings you to Chapel Falls, and then another 1.5 miles or something that brings you back to the parking lot. But yeah, now for Chapel Falls. Depending on which way you take from the parking lot, this may either be the first thing that you see within the first couple miles, or the last thing that you see as you're heading back, like it was for me. But I think it's a pretty nice waterfall, especially for Michigan. And anyway, thank you so much for watching my videos. This was a really cool trip. I can't wait to make it here next time, but I think I captured it pretty well.